Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai.
Hare Krishna,
Hey Krishna.
Govinda, Govinda. Oh, okay. It's all right. So, I've just come inside from being with children, and now I'm with the grown-ups.
Well, not that grown-ups, Maharaj. Always kind of
Well,
childish here too.
well, we are all children, definitely in the eyes of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. You've got to give me one moment. Oh, sorry, you can. So let's begin with chanting the Vandana. And I'm here with you, but I'm also got a little duty here with them as well.
All
Oh,
right.
we need English, right? We got to put the interpretation button on. Okay, so now everyone needs to connect to English or Afrikaans or some other language, but only
Portuguese.
English or Portuguese is the choice today. All right. So Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saha Gana Raghunatan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sarvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Param Saha Gana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo, excuse me, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tijay Namaha. Sorry, I know I didn't pay proper attention, but other things happening. So dear devotees, we've come to be with you and coming to see each of you one by one. And we've got simultaneous translation from Anu Krishna Devidasi. She's giving that service, that valuable service today. And I see Navakishori is here on the Zoom, but she must be here somewhere. She was in the children's group just now when we were there. And also Leela Moy is somewhere too, but they're all participating in the special Saturday program today in the West London Temple. Oh, it's simultaneous translation. Yes, as I just said. Thank you very much. And so, excuse me, the special day today is that they're trying to do something extra for the children of the parents, of course. So the parents have been one side, the children in another side, and with special programs. And so I've been telling a story, and then when I've come to you, then they have arranged something for the children where they got questions on bits of paper folded up and put in a container. They put their hand inside, pick out a question, and it's related to what I've spoken. So I hope I gave them the correct information for answering their questions. We were telling the story of Krishna lifting Govardhan hill. So it's an ever fresh story. And we have two grown-ups who came from a public program in Richmond recently, which is an area of London, where we are going this afternoon, in fact, for doing Harinam Sankirtan. Again, we're happy to go to Richmond. And so then we had the children explain the lifting of Govardhan Hill to this couple, older but new couple who came. So it's all very sweet and interesting. And what we hear, we are to pass on to others and not just keep it for ourselves. All right. So, dear all, we have come to you, and I'm just now seeing all of your names, and very happily our Brazilian family and associated Brazilian family, which includes Tungarasariri in Norway, Namapriya in Latvia, Naza in Ukraine, and Mukunda Prabhu in South Africa. And I probably missed somebody out. Oh, Jai Gauranga Prabhu in Australia, my goodness. Sadhvi in Sweden. So we do have an international gathering. We're here for Krishna Katha, and I do have something selected just for you, but also for me. It's a little selection. Why are we joining together? We're here to hear the conception of Guru Maharaj, the conception of Gurudev, the conception of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the cleanest way to hear is to hear from them directly. And here is Srila Guru Maharaj. It's from the Search for Sri Krishna, Reality the Beautiful, a book we have read many, many times. And some of you have read many times, perhaps, we hope. And but it's a section, okay, I'll simply read it because this is helping us to understand our position as aspiring devotees, as students, and Srila Guru Maharaj speaking. So first of all, indeed, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rock of Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, and Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, his inseparable associate, servitor, friend, everything, Ki Jai. And we'll read from Srila Guru Maharaj's book, Search for Sri Krishna, just a short part. And oh, for the translators, you do have this. You've got, no doubt, you've got Search for Sri Krishna in Portuguese. And I can't tell you what page it is. It's in a very, quite early part. And where Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, I'll just try to read slowly, but he's saying, we are only agents. Agents, an agent for a capitalist, an agent for a corporation, an agent for a company like that. But we are only agents, and we are working because he, with a capital H, has ordered us. So we must remember what is bhakti, what is devotion proper. Whatever I do, the wage I earn must not come to me. I am only an agent. The benefit should go to the proprietor, to my master. Oh, to my master, Krishna. Yes. So whatever I do, the wage I earn, whatever benefit, must not come to me. I am only an agent. The benefit should go to the proprietor, to my master, Krishna. We should move with this idea, and that will be bhakti proper. Otherwise, we will be engaged in karma kanda, fruit hunting. I want to enjoy the result of karma for myself, but the result should go to my master. I am his servant, and all this is capital M. This is Krishna. I am capital H, Krishna's, his servant, and I am working under his order. I am his slave. I am not the proprietor. I am not the proper person to be the recipient of the fruits of energy. The master of energy is the Supreme Lord, and all the products of energy should go to him. it must not be tampered with on the way. This should be the attitude of every worker. So all the products of energy should go to him, to Krishna. It must not be tampered with on the way. If we take something out for ourselves or any other thing. This should be the attitude of every worker. Then it will be bhakti proper. We are not the recipients. He is the recipient. We must always be conscious that the only beneficiary is he. Only then are we devotees. We are not the beneficiaries, but selfless workers. And then Srila Guru Maharaj quotes from Bhagavad Gita. And you know the quote. You probably all know at least what the quote is going to be, the meaning of it. And it is in Sanskrit, Karmanyeva vikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetur bhur ma te sango svakarmani. And that is, translation, you have a right to perform your duty, but you have no right to enjoy the fruits of your work. That's there. And then Srila Guru Maharaj says, this is a great warning. Krishna says, do not think that because you are not the beneficiary of the fruits of your action, that you have no reason to take so much trouble to work. So never think that. But then Guru Maharaj says, never. So you have no reason to, so that do not think that because you are not the beneficiary of the fruits of your action, that you have no reason to take so much trouble to work. Never. And then Guru Maharaj, to stress the point, uses an English word which is not so often used, heinous. And heinous means terrible, nasty, ugly, horrible, this kind of meaning. Then Guru Maharaj says, oh, I won't work. So Krishna tells, so I won't work hard because I'm not getting the result, so I won't take good care. Never. Then Guru Maharaj in his words says, that is the most heinous curse, to think that because I am not the beneficiary, I am not going to work. Even selfless activity is also of a lower order. Rather, we must perform godly activity for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. That is bhakti, or devotion. And there is also a gradation in bhakti. There is a big division between vidhi bhakti and raga bhakti, calculative devotion and spontaneous devotion. Hare Krishna. So this is where I'm starting today. And if you have any questions, then you will help us continue today on this theme and this strong reminder from Gurudev about what is devotion, what is bhakti, what is devotion. So, as always, we have to look in our own heart, look in our own motivation, what is giving us motivation, and ensure really that our heart is in the right place and that our motivation cause is the right motivation. Everything for the Lord, gross and subtle. And I saw a hand up from Sri Hari Prabhu. Was that an actual hand or were you indicating something else? Actual hand, 5 fingers. And as we were telling the children just now, we have 2 hands. Generally, the strongest is the right hand. The weakest is the left hand. The weakest finger is the little finger. And that weakest finger is the finger that Krishna picked up the whole Govardhan hill with, just to emphasize he can do anything. So the next time somebody says, I am God, you are God, we are all God, ask him to pick up a mountain, even a little mountain, with his little finger. You can let him use his right hand if you like. But Krishna makes a point. Hare Krishna. So Sri Hari Prabhu, showing your full 5 fingers, or 10 fingers perhaps.
Wonderful, Maharaj. Well, since most of us, we're talking about gradation here, and since most of us were educated, if that much, to believe in God as a source of beneficial being for ourselves, I think it would be very nice for us to talk a little bit about this difference between this calculated devotion and actual, like, spontaneous devotion. This is always a very good theme to explore, and we're always learning a little bit more every time we hear it.
So what is your contribution to this theme, Sri Hari Prabhu?
Well, Maharaj, I don't have a lot of experience or expertise to talk about it, but for the observational point of view, throughout the years, what I notice is that, as amazing as it sounds, the result of the spontaneous devotion, when I saw it happening in other people, not myself, of course, but when I saw the spontaneous devotion, like coming from the heart of a true devotee, the result is that this person is way happier than the other ones, the ones that are doing this calculating devotion, like asking God for things and putting God in this position of being in an hospital or a car store or a bank or something like that, for asking things. Even if these people are like, they have pious hearts and they really want to do something, and they're really, like, as we can say, good people, but it's always a calculating thing, like, well, God, I love you so much and I want to do this for you and this for you, please give me that. And I've talked a lot about it with some devotees throughout the years, and it always struck me as a fact that the devotees that have been asking God for devotion, for a position as a servant, these are the real happy guys that I've met, and happy women that I've met throughout the years. So it's wonderful to see the result in someone else's life. It inspires us to try and do anything similar. That's what I've been observing myself.
I'm trying to think of devotees I know who have been asking Krishna for something. I can't. I think those in the family of Gurudev, they maybe sometimes slip in a little request for themselves, but with a guilty conscience. This is my summary, that really they don't want to ask Krishna for something, but sometimes when it's something very critical, especially with a close family member, then can't help but slip in a little question, but with a guilty conscience. And Krishna notices the question and he notices the guilty conscience. And I'm sure that Krishna is happily taking care of each situation. And today I got news, it happens all the time, doesn't it? But today I got news of one of our men devotees who is in a rapidly degenerate, not degeneration isn't the right word, but has cancer, and a very strong kind, which very quickly is doing some difficulty for him. you know, the prayer really for the devotees who are in that situation, but for us about devotee friends who are in that situation, it is one to help them tolerate the circumstance in the Krishna-centered way, because we really can't think that we are going to join that department which is going to say, pray to please cure the cancer. It's in such a position where, I mean, it would be a miracle, and Krishna may do it, and that would be wonderful. But that we are asking, cure the cancer for him, it just doesn't, it's not the mood of the devotees, even though we would like that, but rather that whatever his situation, and this person we know, and only today, a few hours ago, I found this out, and he's in difficulty, much difficulty. But really our prayer, even though we could think we should pray for something material relief, but really is that he can go through all of this with the Krishna conscious, just surrender, Krishna, I'm yours, this is happening, it's happening to everybody in one way or another. Sooner or later, they're going to have to face this terminal. The terminal means you're going to die, cancer, you're going to die this, but we're going to die. We've got to face the terminal world, all of us. And so we need to face this in our Krishna conscious way. And then there may be so many external things which are painful for the body, but by the Lord's grace, may the remembrance be on Krishna and on our own. We've come in this world, a circumstance that we individually, when we face something, will be able to face it, putting Krishna at the center and just tolerating the pain, the suffering, all the things that come with these diseases, which is one of the very things which are listed as the suffering of this world. Birth, don't forget. Death, don't forget. Old age, don't forget. And disease, don't forget. But our devotees, the devotees who hear from Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, who've received the seeds which are in this current of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, really, they are not, I can't immediately think of any devotee who I'm thinking was, oh, they're Gurudev's disciple, but they're kind of using Krishna for themselves. But yes, sometimes some prayer for family members for something is coming in, but it's a selfless prayer and with a little guilt that actually, Krishna, we know you know what's best for everyone, but you know we are also suffering to see our friends suffering, and it's different than just being out and out, dear Lord, fulfill my prayer or I'll have no faith in you kind of thing. And somebody gave me a slogan or told me a slogan that one Christian, we are still Christian, I'm still Christian. We are following Jesus's teaching, plus, by the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But one Christian sect, slogan, somebody read to me the other day, they have this to attract people to come. And I don't remember the exact word, but it was very much like, come to such and such church, and in our church, you will be rich and successful and happy. This was the absolute message of the slogan that was drawing people to come to their church and to pray, to be faithful, and quite likely to pay the annual fee, which will help somebody be rich and temporarily, superficially happy, maybe. But that's not the line from Gurudev. And we read every day, we hear every day, And so we can say, yes, the devotees, but Vidimag isn't necessarily, thinking for oneself so much. It is, it can be. In the beginning, there's some motivation that I'll do this and I'll get some good result. But the Vidimag, we see devotees who do some quite strong rules and regulations, rules and regulations, yes, but formalities. And they're quite nourished by it. And there's one person I think of immediately, and very educated, very nice man, Indian body, and Indian, born in India. And he got quite a lot of formalities he does every day. I mean, I'm actually impressed that he does this every day. And a working man, family man, responsible man. But I don't get the impression he does it for give me this and give me that. It's his nature. It's how he was born. It's probably learnt it from his mum when he was in the womb. I mean, it's that kind of a devotional nature. And in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, we can think of Venkatabhata in South India, who's a selfless, pure devotee of Narayan. So but pure devotee with rules and regulations, the awe and reverence, and satisfied in that. But Mahaprabhu, after 4 months of the rainy season, it wasn't after, preaching in a yoga studio for 1 hour in the afternoon. Mahaprabhu stayed at his house for 4 months of the rainy season. And only, after all of this, did gradually the heart of Venkatabhata change from Narayan, my Lord, Narayan, and doing all the rituals and many things, to, Krishna, the Lord of love. All these things are slackened, but it doesn't mean that slackened and then replaced by laziness and material things, slackened converted into the channel of more savor to the Lord, but through love, through affection, and not through the rules and regulations. And more savor to whom? What aspect of the law? To Krishna. Spontaneous loving service only goes to Krishna. And those yesterday who may be on the Shikshastakam course, or the series of Shikshastakam talks that we're giving here in London, then we quoted from Srila Guru Maharaj saying just that the king of love, the Lord of love is Krishna. And Guru Maharaj used that. The king, then actually where I was reading from, said Krishna is the king, and then the next line is said of love. So kind of you get this, Krishna is the king, then of love, which was kind of good for me, because first you get the grand impression and then king of love. So Venkatabhata, he was perfect, he was pure, he was the associate of Mahaprabhu, who stayed in his house with his selfless hospitality and everything. But we cannot even think a drop that Venkatabhata was doing that for himself, but he was doing vidhi, marg, dedication in vidhi. So there is a difference. There's gradation everywhere, like we are discussing. And I'm sure Venkatabhata was a very content person and happy. But when our prayer is, you can say, contaminated with, I'm praying to the Lord to get something, I'm doing austerities to please the Lord to get something, I'm giving, in charity because I think I'm going to get back more than I'm giving. I'm going to give 10 rupees to the Lord, but I'm going to ask him for 1,000,000 rupees. Going to give him a flower. Krishna says, just give me a flower, fruit, and water. Yep. Okay, giving you that. You're happy? Okay, 10 million rupees, please. It's not so happy. So if you do know people who have understood Bhagavad Gita in that way, yes, they may not be so happy because they're waiting for those 10 million rupees for someone from the DHL courier service to deliver them, I suppose. And very sad because every day the DHL passes by and there's no 10 million rupees there. Oh dear, that would make somebody sad, wouldn't it? Hare Krishna. And I'm seeing you all here. None of you are asking anything for yourself. None of you. No. And I can't even think of a devotee who's asking something for themselves. And I know a lot of devotees. You're all wonderful. This is my humble impression. Hare Krishna. But just following rules and regulations can make you hard-hearted. Means, I'm not talking about just following the 4 regulative principles, but the rules and regulations when you read rituals and following ritualistic things, because we can lose the aim of what we're doing, and actually it enters into a realm which is more close to superstition than pure religion. When we have a clue of what is pure religion by the grace of the Gurus, Vaishnavas, and Mahaprabhu, then we know the goal is to come to the land, the prayojana, the destination is to come to the land of love and beauty, the land of selfless dedication. So when we do sometimes see like strict rules and regulations, which are done more or less forgetting the goal, forgetting the purpose of our doing anything, to wake up our loving relationship with the loving Lord, then it can become a little more like superstition. Oh, if I don't do this, then something bad will happen when I go out today. And well, yes, I do know 1 or 2 devotees who are very careful about the signs when they wake up in the morning. And I was doing book distribution with one such devotee. And, we can laugh at each other. This is many years ago. Between each other, we can have a bit of a laugh. And we had a bit of a laugh with each other even then. But we were both doing book distribution together. And every morning he would look and see in the astrology book, about what's going to happen and this, that, and the other, and see signs around him. And, bless his heart, he's still alive. I know him, and he's still alive, despite all sorts of things which were predicted in that book. And he's a wonderful devotee and super sweet and super honest, very honest, and all these things. But these signs of the environment, we know we are in an environment which is, a little inauspicious. It's Kali Yuga, but the auspicious thing is the holy name, distributing the holy name, the association with devotees, rendering service. But he was a little like that really he had to do some things before he would go out, whether it was a good day or a bad day in the almanac. But, it's just an observation that we want to be always remembering what we're doing. Actually, he's not a good example, who I'm remembering, because he's a devotee. And, he's got something else embedded in him from young age, from some earlier time, some previous study. And so he's careful. And they say, what do they say? About stupid and happy. There's some expression in English about, or ignorance is bliss. Okay, this is sometimes ignorance is bliss. When there's so many bad omens all around you and you still go down the street, well, probably better to have a little idea of what's a good omen and people running away screaming from around the corners, probably a bad omen. We probably would take notice of that one. Hare Krishna. Oh my goodness, 11 chats in the chat box. Someone's being busy, or maybe 11 devotees are being busy. Oh my goodness. Mukunda, Hare Krishna, and my dear Pranam Dandabat Maharaj, and to all, especially to Mukunda Prabhu, Navakishori, Hare Krishna. Still don't know where she is. She's probably been chanting and dancing in the temple room during Aarti. Tungarasa, wonderful. Balloons and things, Navakishori Jai. Seva Rupa. Aha. Okay, Seva Rupa Diri. I'm going to pass this to you. Oh, these, okay, Seva has put at least 3 of the chats here. And then Naza has said, so will Seva Rupa, you please present that to us. I know, you're not at work, it's Saturday. And Naza saying, Dandavas Maharaj, do we have right to enjoy from performing duty? Yes, you do. You're meant to enjoy. You're meant to feel pleasure. You're meant to be happy. Your proper position is doing your selfless duty and being happy. Yes. Don't be guilty. You are born to taste nectar. I read it this morning from we're preparing a little flyer, and I read that exact thing this morning. We've heard it so many times. You were born to taste nectar. You're meant to taste nectar. Your life is meant for that. Don't settle for anything else. So I think that is Om, a big yes. You're meant to taste nectar. Nectar tastes good and enjoyable, so don't worry about that at all. Be happy. And Jamuna, she's given us in Portuguese, so someone's going to have to help me out there.
She's telling us, Maharaj, that she's on the road traveling and the internet is very bad, so she's going to watch the recording. And she sends her affection and dandavats to you.
Okay, Jamuna, thank you for the message. Hare Krishna. And as you're hearing the recorded version, I often hear recorded versions, by the way, of things which I can't always attend. And oh yes, somebody sent me an apology just this morning. They said, oh, please excuse. Completely different than what they were doing for the whole of. And I wrote back, oh, don't worry, I didn't even know, because I only listening to the recording, not seeing anything. I didn't, because actually hearing is our process. And well, you all know, when I'm listening to recorded things, not now, when I'm listening to recorded things, usually really I am listening while doing something that the brain doesn't need so much attention for. Hare Krishna. Okay, so, and Seva Rupa said, oh, she just put in the box what I was reading. Oh, okay, very good. Yes, you did. Thank you very much. Spasibo bonchum for all our Russian speakers. No Russian translation today, so a couple of words. All right. We don't want to be hard-hearted. In fact, the opposite. Soft heart, but for the devotees, and a little immune heart we want to have to the material world things. We have to be a little immune, otherwise we'll be absolutely troubled and in the talking about all the disasters and injustices in the world, like all the newspapers and news and television. They always love to be the first on the scene to show you some nasty disaster and all these things. Well, probably somewhere in the world at every moment there's some nasty disaster taking place. That's the news of the world. But we want to accept that the world that we live in is a disastrous place, terrible place that we hear. But we want to be a little bit immune from that. Like you get some injection or something to make you immune from a disease. We want to be a little bit immune from that, because even though it's terrible, and I've seen, we've all probably seen, opened up bodies and things from, accidents and things that happen. Disasters happen and it's terrible. But if we only lament about that, we're not looking at the solution and the reason why we are even seeing these things. And in the back of all of this is the push for us to be Krishna conscious, because we have come to learn about Krishna consciousness. We've come to learn that reality is beautiful, and it's the illusory world where we can think we can enjoy ourselves, which is the suffering world, terrible world, disaster-full world. And even we have these expressions from the great souls and in Prapanajivanamritam, where they're expressing this world which is just full of disasters, terrible place. We want relief from this world. But I have fallen in here due to my own karma, as you know, from the Shikshastakam of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So these things happen to us, as we mentioned about our dear devotee friend that we learnt about this morning with very voracious cancer. We're in a terrible world, but we see it, and it all happens in one form or another to every one of us, because we are in the world of birth, death, old age, disease. Hare Krishna. So we've all come to this Krishna consciousness line, which is the line of beauty, sweetness, and love. We are born to taste nectar. We should not settle for anything else. So we need to take an immune tablet or immune injection from the material world and be happy for the journey that we're on, the journey to the beautiful world above. And we will share that with others who want to come. If somebody doesn't want to come in the boat, Mahaprabhu is calling at the ghat, the jetty, come on board this boat, come on board this boat. I will take you for free to cross to the other side. But everyone's busy doing something else, or suspicious that the boat is not really going to go there, going to get halfway and then find, now you have to pay me $1 million, so you can't reach either shore. There's that suspicion, because in the world, there is that goes on. And tourists that have been in some parts of the world may have discovered that such things do go on, maybe not to the $1 million level.
Maharaj, in relating to that, there is a very good question from Nazar in the chat
Yes?
box. Yeah, it's pretty much related to that.
Chat box, click. Nazar, how to develop a soft heart if it's hard to leave analyzing everything? Hare Krishna. Well, Nazar, the answer for you, because it may be different for everyone, is, well, I'm not encouraging you to do anything illegal. The point is, Nazar can't leave Ukraine right now. But when the Lord gives that opportunity, the answer for you is come to Vila Govinda, leave all of your thinking and your computer and all your, because you're a genius at all these computer things. It's very wonderful, but come and serve in the garden for a few months with Chinmoy Prabhu and the other devotees there. And I think your heart will be very soft in the association of devotees. Just say, oh yes, just to be with the devotees, morning program, evening program, prasadam together. and serve in the garden is wonderful, miraculous place, and with beautiful devotees. And if you think it's you who thinks your heart is hot, we may not agree with that, but I think you would then also look at your heart. Oh my goodness, something happened. I got a soft heart. Hare Krishna. Now, talking of soft hearts, last Sunday, not last Sunday, last Monday, we went to, Naza knows this actually, we went to a hospital. We all went to hospital, 30 of us maybe went to hospital. Not because we were in a road accident in a coach or something, but we went to hospital to go to see a devotee, Anjali, and it's like 3 hours driving to go there. And we went to see this devotee. She's, in her later part of her life and suffering quite a bit in the hospital. And then we went down to her and we arranged, we mean Saraswati, the manager here, sweetest lady. She is infected with Navadip Dham's devotional, magical mood as given by Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. Anyway, Saraswati, she's the manager here, and she arranged, we go there, and she arranged for 2 hours. Yes, was it Monday? Anyway, she arranged for 2 hours in the hospital at the chaplain. In the chapel, in the hospital itself. It's like one of the rooms that is there as a chapel for praying and everything. And we went there, and I thought it was only going to be 3 or 4 or 5 of us going in a car down, but as it turned out, I found out only that the evening before, we went down in 3 cars from here, and from there, it was last Sunday. Okay, Mukunda knows it was last Sunday, not last Saturday. Anyway, we went there. What I do want to say, because some of you have heard this, but what hasn't been so clearly made clear, talking about soft hearts was, we went there, and Anjali, this is the lady who's been a devotee for countless years, whose husband took sannyas, who, family life, children life, a whole history from Srila Prabhupada's time onwards. And then she's in the last time of her life. But we went there to the hospital, and she was absolutely touched by everyone coming. We were doing full on Hare Krishna Kirtan and everything in the hospital, in that chapel. And I was leading and leading the singing, but I was watching the altar that we put up. And I'm watching that altar, and we're singing, and somehow, everyone people were not following as, properly. I thought there must be a couple of people, if 2 people or 1 person doesn't sing on time when they're responding, like it throws everybody off. And anyway, I was just singing, and then some like strange response. It wasn't going smoothly. And then after a few Hare Krishna Maha mantras, which you all know the mantra, thank you. Then I just turned around to see, and everybody was crying and bawling their eyes out. It was a very soft-hearted gathering, and Anjali was crying, and everybody. It was just such an exchange of affectionate, loving, caring mood between all the devotees, and some things just happen from the heart and completely unexpectedly. And so, Naza, talking of soft hearts, if you hear that story, your heart must surely get a little soft. Because it was quite stunning, I have to say. Hare Krishna. And that hospital, it's a big hospital in Bournemouth, in south of England. That hospital needs devotees. Not as patients, but as singers. Really, we really made a difference, I have to say. Not us, but Harinam, Sankirtan, having devotees go there. For the person we went to, but the staff, the visitors, the other patients, their relatives, So many people, they saw some happiness in basically an unhappy place. That's an unhappy place. I take my hat off, as the British say, to the doctors and nurses who work very hard to try to mend these material bodies of suffering. They see suffering. And a doctor from the emergency ward came to the kirtan outside, and she was a lady doctor, and she was so happy. I said, oh my goodness, you see as your job, the emergency ward is a terrible place. I've been, we've all been there, I suppose, but I've had to wait at the emergency ward different times for extensive, quite a bit. And we've seen some very nasty bodily troubles coming through the door. And the doctor from the emergency ward coming for the lunch break to join our kirtan and giving up their lunch. We packed them lunch, prasadam, and gave, but didn't want to eat. Said, no, I've only got half an hour lunch break. I'm going to chant with you all. Came and chanted with us. And Bhagavad Gita, Srila Guru Maharaj in the foreword or introduction to the Gita says the glories of the Bhagavad Gita, and one of them is, it is new life for the dying. It is also, and what is Bhagavad Gita? Is telling us devotional service. Devotional service. What is the devotional service in Kali Yuga? Chanting. And what is chanting what? Chanting the names of the Lord. But in particular, chanting the Maha Mantra for this age, Hare Krishna. So all of this is new life for the dying. But not everyone's dying in that. Well, not yet. Everyone's dying. Okay, fair enough. But we saw broken legs. Like in the youngest was with a broken leg was a young child, maybe. Young. 5 years old or something, with a broken leg. So, from the old people who really, very old, and, one lady they brought in a wheelchair near us where we were doing, beside us when we were doing our chanting. And really, she was in the chair and looking, like she's practically already passed away. But some happiness she got it's not us, from the kirtan and from hearing the devotees. So we are all diseased. We're in the hospital of this material world to be cured. Mahaprabhu's brought the medicine. Enechi aushadi maya. Mahaprabhu says, I have brought the medicine to cure us from Maya. Just take this medicine. Take it and chant. And another place, as we said, he's come to the boat, the ferry ghat. Say, get on my boat. I'll take you for free across to the other side. Come. But we don't want to take the medicine. Too much trouble. We don't want to get on the boat. Too much trouble. But we do. We've at least testing the medicine. We're at least putting a foot on the boat. We're trying to go. And that's the beautiful thing about being with the devotees. We're not trying to convince each other to take it or that it is real. We know it's real. I think we just have to convince each other to keep on going. Like the strength for the person who is dying from cancer, then he needs strength for adjusting in the painless way of Krishna consciousness. But we are all dying in this world, and we all need strength in this world. That kind of strength which is devotion to the Lord, relying on the Lord's guardianship, not just for this body, but for our life, our journey, our eternal life. and our eternal life with the connection of Mahaprabhu and his topmost devotees, we have that connection to come to the most beautiful, wonderful place. And we should not be distracted by other things. And we should try to keep the perspective that's been given by Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj. You were born to taste nectar. You know that. I know that. Knowledge is knowledge. Oh, I'm in the wrong application here. I was going to see if I could just read. Okay, I'm going to read you the exact words rather than my rendition. Srila Guru Maharaj saying, the Vedas say, Shrinvantu Vishve Amritasya Putra. O sons of nectar, sons of the nectarian ocean sea, please listen to me. You were born in nectar, Krishna. You were born to taste nectar, and you must not allow yourselves to be satisfied by anything but nectar. So, however misguided you may be for the time being, awake, arise, search for that nectar, that satisfaction. And then Srila Guru Maharaj says, the Vedas tell us, Om. And you all know what Guru Maharaj says next. Guru Maharaj says, Om means a big yes. What you are searching for, that is, don't be disappointed. The Vedas say that the object of your inner search exists. The common search of all your hearts, everyone's hearts, all your hearts, plural, is existing, and your thirst will be quenched. By your constitution, you are meant for that, and you deserve that. So don't be afraid. Don't be cowed down. It is already given in your being, and you can never be satisfied with anything else. So prepare yourself after your long search to receive that long missing nectar in its full form and quality. Awake, arise, search for your fortune, and you cannot but have that. In other words, you must certainly have that. Search for your fortune, and you cannot but have that. It is your birthright. It is your birthright. It is the wealth of your own soul. It cannot but be with you. You have no other business, no other engagement but Krishnanusandhana, which is a very long word, which means the search for Sri Krishna, reality, the beautiful. Yes, you read it before, you've heard it before, I read it before, I've heard it before. But these things, like the Maha Mantra, we repeat again and again, they are so living, alive, and essential for us to keep coming to keep us going on our journey. Om, 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 a big yes. Hare Krishna. What was Nada's question? Oh, how to have a soft heart and stop analyzing everything. Hare Krishna. Actually, if we just do what we're told, if we do as a good student, all these secondary things will come, because if we look at the list of good qualities and bad qualities, and look at ourselves, well, how will we do this? How will we do that? But actually, if we just do what Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj have given us to do and continue, we will look back and we will find that something happened, some change is happening in our lives. We've been eating rice, dal, sabji, and other things ever since we were born. And by that material nourishment, we've gradually got a mature body. And if we give ourselves our spiritual nourishment, we will also grow, we get our proper spiritual health and maturity. Hare Krishna. Anyway, wonderful to be with you all. And I hope we could give you a hint of the feeling of sharing something from here. Today is a bit of a festival day in London, but we've had pretty much a bit of a festival day every day recently, maybe every day during this last week, including Sunday. And Mukunda pointed out we were in the hospital. From then on, well, every day. After all, when we were in Navadip, we did have an expression, every day in Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat is a festival for those who participate. So we are with wonderful participants. We are having a festival with you. We're having a festival in London. And you are having a festival every day in Brazil through your own inspiration, your own good thinking, to keep regular contact every day with Harikatha and readings in the morning and evening. And here, every week, we are coming together in addition to your daily programs, and we're very happy to give you full support, whatever we can do to help each other to keep on going, because we are on a true path to our true home with our true guides, and it just doesn't get any better. We just have to be good students.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. Wonderful inspiration. That was a wonderful, wonderful class. So, Jaya Srila Bhakti Madhusudan Maharaj ki.
Hare Krishna. And by the way, very grateful to Anukrishna Devidasi, because as you understand in your own language, when we can talk continually, it is, well, maybe more flowing than when we talk and stop. So we can say double what we say when we have speaking and stopping. But gratitude and grateful to all of you and to all of those who do the stop and start translation. It all takes a lot of this computer work. So we'll let Anukrishna have a break, but you please all stay together if you can, if you're happy to, and talk in flowing Portuguese, share lots of things, and become Krishna, fully Krishna conscious. And it's never possible to reach the limit because it's infinite. Oh dear. So your infinite journey, may it be super joyful. And today, have a festival in Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, Brazil. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And all glories, all credits, all everything, please know Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Please know Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rock Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Our Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Bhaga ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. And Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. And super to see you all, be with you. My repeated obeisances. Ami Ashchi. Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. And I'm turning the page. Jai. Wonderful.
Jai. Pessoal, eu vou só parar a gravação aqui. Por favor, aguardem um pouco. Hare Krishna.